Hi everyone, my name is Sandra. Welcome back to my channel. So today's look is done using this palette, which I think you'd be surprised because when I first look at this palette, all I see are the bright colors, the pastels, the neutrals. I don't see anything sultry or smoky about it. And yet I still managed to accomplish this look right here. And so if you're interested to see how I got it, go ahead and keep on watching.
Well, we are starting off with the Caudalie Beauty Elixir. I love the way this product smells and it just is so refreshing. And I'm using a Pharmacy Very Cherry Bright Serum. It's supposed to be a brightening serum, but I haven't really noticed a difference. I always include a serum in my skincare routine before my makeup. And my eye cream is the Inky List Retinol Eye Cream. I did get this in my recent Sephora haul, so if you guys are curious and want to know what other items I purchased, I'll link that video for you. This is simply a sample that I got from Sephora. I always like to smell my products before I put them on, so that's what that was all about. And yeah, I like getting the samples because number one, they're free. Number two, if I do find an awesome product, then I can go out and buy it, but I've already tested it beforehand, so I know that it works well for me. And yeah, that's basically it. So next we're going to go in with the Rare Beauty Pore Diffusing Primer. I really have been liking the Rare Beauty primers. They both work really well. This one diffuses pores and then the other one illuminates your skin, and they're both great. I only did get the small sizes in each of them, but I really do like them. And the foundation I'm using today is the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover, and the shade is 228 Soft Tan. When I first bought this, I wasn't too pleased with the feel of the foundation. It kind of made my skin feel kind of gross, but since using the other Dream products, I don't mind it, and it does have sunscreen in it, so I think that is a plus, and also the color that it is right now matches my skin tone now. It kind of looks a bit darker than my neck in the current video, but it basically just depends if I tan, and the more you blend the product in, the better it looks, and then also powder kind of lightens it as well. So I'm blending this out with my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Face Sponge, and I've been kind of liking brushes a lot more recently, but I do have to say that if you want a nice overall beautiful blended look, the sponge is where it's at. And so a lot of times I will take my brush first, put on my makeup with my brush, and then blend it out again with my sponge. So you can really see that that product gives a beautiful glowy look. I'm using the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in the satin finish today. I really am pleasantly surprised by these. I've heard some of my favorite beauty YouTubers talk about them, and I just never went ahead and bought them, and I'm pleasantly surprised. I really like the formula, and I don't know why I didn't buy them sooner. I think I was using all of these L'Oreal concealers, and those are still like $10–13, and this e.l.f. product is, I think it was $5.98, so super cheap and also super good. So if you guys haven't checked out e.l.f. products yet, I really recommend them. And so of course I'm going over with powder, and I really like this Maybelline Fit Me Powder. I have the shade 10 Fair Light. Yes, I know it's not my color, but at the same time it does go on translucent, and because this foundation is a tad darker than my skin tone right now, it works. So I use the Sigma F35 highlighter brush underneath my eyes because it is the perfect size for that, and the F37 Spotlight Duster to have a light dusting of powder over the rest of my face. I find the larger brushes like the F30 and the F20 are just really large, and they don't allow you to control how much product you put on. So here I'm using this Nars mini bronzer to warm up the perimeter of my face. And again, I'm using a soft fluffy brush for this step because I don't want um, just a big bunch of bronzer everywhere. I really want the look a bit more controlled in this look. So I'm adding some to my nose, and I always add it to my temples, the perimeter of my forehead, and my cheeks. And I don't really like adding it to my jawline because I feel like it just darkens up the look when I'm trying to get it lighter. So we're moving on to brows now, and I'm using the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil here in the shade 3. And I don't think I've ever bought any brow products from Benefit except for the 24-hour brow gel, which you'll see shortly. And this was a sample from the Ipsy Glam Bag that I bought a long time ago. and I actually don't mind it. I generally prefer the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz or even the Urban Decay brow blade. Those are super nice, and the pencil formula goes on amazing. So truly, I don't really need the brow gel because my brows are very small. I don't have unruly, crazy eyebrows like some people, and that is because I over plucked my eyebrows when I was in junior high, and I really do have to fill them out and make them look fuller with a brow pencil. But you can see here that I do have longer ones, so I occasionally trim them down, and it's just because they look neater that way, and it just looks a little bit better groomed. So I'm just kind of wiping away the hairs. And usually I do that step before makeup, and then I take a big brush and then I just kind of wipe it all away. So I'm using this powder blush from Milani. It's actually a big blush, and it is called the '09 Red Vino. That's the shade. And I have quite a few of these blushes. I'm using the Sigma F10 blush brush, and I always like to add my blush a little bit lower. I know people say that it makes your face appear um, down, like it brings it down a bit instead of applying the blush higher up on your cheekbone, but I prefer a natural flush as opposed to like a really high cheekbone flush. I just put powder over top to keep the blush from going anywhere. And for lips, I'm using the Milani Keep It Full Plumping Lip Gloss in 03 Prismatic Peach. It is so beautiful, and it really does plump your lips. And now we're going into the Morphe palette with the Maddie Ziegler collab, and I really love this palette. It's called the Imagination palette, and it has every beautiful color for summer. To be honest, it reminds me of the one by Jeffree Star, the Jawbreaker palette that was released, was it last year or the year before now? But it reminds me of that, and the price point is quite a bit cheaper. So if you are interested in the Jawbreaker palette, you might like this one as well. And so normally when I look at this palette, I think of like bright, beautiful summer looks, but I actually went for more of a smoky finish, and I'm quite surprised by the outcome because looking at this palette, you would not imagine a look like how I've accomplished this look. You wouldn't imagine that I could have got it using this palette. So for all of this eye look, I've basically used one brush, which is the E25 by Sigma. It is a pretty good brush to do a complete look. And if you are afraid of having the color transfer between the different shades, all you have to do is clean it on a dry paper towel, or you can get these really cool they're like a little container. I can't remember the name of them right now, but you just swirl your brush in this little mesh sponge and it just cleans all of the product off for you. And it's perfect because it works like magic, and you won't have any transfer of color, especially if you're limited and you only have a few brushes. I do have a lot of brushes though. I just sometimes, if I want a very quick makeup look, I will stick to the same brush. So here you can see I've added this beautiful plum color, and I think that's really what smoked this look out. And I did bring up the product too high near my eyebrow, so you'll see shortly that I tried using the light shadow to lighten it up, but it still looks purple, so I went in later with concealer, and I just kind of cleaned up near the brow bone. So kind of adverse to what I would normally do, I actually use this sparkly brown on the outer corner. I usually always use a matte shade, a darker matte shade on the outer corner, but this really added to the smokiness of the look. So I added this beautiful sparkly brown, and I'm just using my finger. And it's funny how our makeup ways or our habits change too, because a couple of years ago, I hated putting product on my fingers, but truly when you're applying shimmer shadows, it is one of the best ways to really get that pop of brightness. And speaking of brightness, I'm adding this brighter color on the inside corner, and now we're going to go ahead and clean up that purple shadow. So I just want to remind you guys that if you do make makeup mistakes, there are always ways to fix them, and this is a huge one. So you just have to make sure that the concealer that you're using is similar to the kind of foundation color that you've used on your face, just so it blends in nice. And if you pick a too light of a color, it's just going to look weird and people will be able to see it. So yeah, stick to your natural skin tone or the color of your foundation and you'll be good to go. And another thing, especially for fallout, a good thing to do is to do your shadow first and then do your makeup after. Or you can get shadow shields from the store. I don't think I've ever used them myself, but you can also just use a paper towel underneath your eye so you don't get any fallout. So now we're going in with this brush and I'm adding some color to the lower lash line. And that is one of my favorite things to do, is to always tie in the color from the upper lash line to the lower, and it really brings the look together. And I've been known to blow out my lower lash line quite a bit, but I like it to be a little bit more smoky as opposed to, sharp. So I totally skipped a step, but that was lining my eyes. I don't like to show it because I do line the water rim and it looks weird when I do it on camera. I added some of my Flower Beauty highlighter, and I'm finishing up the look with my favorite current mascara, which is the Maybelline Sky High Mascara in Blackest Black.
Alright, you guys, so that's it for today's look. And you'll notice I didn't do a liquid liner, which I was going to, and I also didn't do lashes because personally I'm loving this Sky High mascara. It is so beautiful. And in most of the makeup I used today was drugstore. There were a few bits and pieces here that weren't, and it's only because I don't have drugstore makeup in that type of makeup that I used. So but for the most part, I love this. I haven't really done like a full glam highlighted beautiful look in such a long time. It's usually just been for fun. And I mean, it's still for fun because we can't really go anywhere. But I'm really loving this. And this has kind of given me inspiration for a date night look. And obviously, like you could see the colors I used when I was doing the eye look. This color right here is one of the main ones I used, along with like these two colors. And then I did use the shading colors to really shade the eye before going in with these two here. And then this one was for highlight and the inner portion of the lid. And it just turned out so beautifully, so smoky, so rich, but also so blended and beautiful. And I did have to clean up with concealer because I blended up way too high. So that's just one thing, but that is a trick that you can kind of erase your mistakes and start fresh. And I love how this looks right now. So let me know in the comments, do you have this palette? And also if you'd like to see other drugstore makeup looks, let me know, because I do have a lot of makeup products from the drugstore. I just don't really use it as much because I've been focusing on the newer makeup I've received. And if you like this video, give it a huge thumbs up. If you're new here, I would love if you would subscribe. And last but not least, click on that bell button to be notified every time I upload a new video. And we'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye.